Hello there, how are you? Welcome to What the Flick. Christy Lemire, Alonso, Matt Amputee, Ben Mankiewicz. We're all here. How often are we all here?
Rarely.
Not nearly enough.
Like on a day like this, how often are we all here?
It rained today in Los Angeles in July. It was a sign.
Right.
Like gods were crying that we're all together.
It didn't just rain.
We should buy lottery tickets.
No, yeah, there was thunder and lightning, and everyone's like, what is that? I thought it was my neighbor pulling his trash cans out to the sidewalk. I'm like, that rumbling sound sounds familiar.
The awesome guy who
It's
parks our
rain.
cars, Carlos, came out and he said, I need to roll up your window. It's raining. And I was like, no, it isn't. He was literally in the rain.
live in LA.
I denied it was
I
true.
don't
I
believe
saw
you.
lightning and I thought I was hallucinating.
It's true. Anyway, so we have movie news for you. We have trailers, we have reviews of a couple movies coming out this week. We have early reviews for you and some home video picks. So it's a packed day. But we're going to start out with Dwayne Johnson's new movie, Skyscraper. Now, in this film, he plays a former Marine, former FBI guy who loses part of his left leg in a blast during a hostage situation that goes horribly wrong, and has to then take on the many dangers of the skyscraper with his prosthetic leg. So an actress who is also a Paralympian, four-time track champion Paralympian, Katy Sullivan, has written an open letter to him and basically says that she wished that actresses such as herself had the opportunity for roles like that. That when an able-bodied person, like Jake Gyllenhaal in Stronger recently, or Eddie Redmayne in Theory of Everything, or any able-bodied actor who was playing a person who has a disability of some sort, when they are the ones playing that actors who are disabled in some way don't get the opportunity, and that's a problem.
That's also happening with Joaquin Phoenix in Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot, where he plays a quadriplegic.
Yes.
I'm glad this conversation is happening. I mean, in the same way that I think the now aborted Scarlett Johansson project, I think got a lot of people talking about the notion of trans actors playing trans roles. Yeah, I think we should totally be having a conversation about opportunities for disabled actors playing parts in which they are disabled. Although, as with all things, there are multiple voices on this topic. Kristen Lopez, who is a disabled film critic, loved Skyscraper and thought that she loved the way they handled the character.
Well, a lot of it is the way he uses the leg.
Yeah, it's Thor's hammer.
It's in a multitude of situations, he uses the leg to his advantage in a way that maybe somebody who is able-bodied would not be able to, so.
I'm glad you brought up Eddie Redmayne because he's kind of going 2 for 2 in taking roles.
Oh, that's true, yes.
Oh, he was in Danish Girl.
He was in the Danish Girl.
Right, yes, of course.
And it looked like it's the same problem with trans actors is in that no one's going to get that star power if they never get a chance to play those roles. Similarly, it's a point. It's not a bad point writing about The Rock in this role because it does make you think like, oh well, how many actors that are that have been have had amputations are not even getting past the casting stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right?
if we were casting disabled actors in able-bodied roles, and if we were casting trans actors in cis roles, then there might be something more resembling a playing field. But if you're gonna only cast people that way, and then at the same time not give them the meaty leading roles, then.
Well, one of the key points she makes, it's a very long letter she's written to him, but one of the key points she makes is, while I'm thrilled that a film about a kick-ass veteran and father who is a unilateral below-the-knee amputee got greenlit in the first place, the problem is that this perpetuates the fact that we are not given the agency to tell our own stories.
I am of two minds. The conversation is vital, and the point Alonso just made, I think, is particularly excellent. That that if there were amputees with prosthetic limbs who got to play characters who were not amputees, because that didn't limit them in any way, then that would be great. And if there were trans actors getting to play cis roles, a sentence I never thought I would say, then that would be valuable. That said, these are actors, and I don't really have much problem in general if it is handled thoughtfully. And again, we focus so much on the actors. If the script is, if there are opportunities to tell the stories, write the stories, direct the stories from people in marginalized communities, then I think the actors, and including Scarlett Johansson and certainly including Dwayne Johnson, ought to be able to play these characters without having their morality or their ethics or their righteousness questioned.
And so many of these stories, just from a structural perspective, are about the person being able to walk or do whatever, and then there's an accident, and then they learn to live and thrive, and the uplift is the point. That journey is, the point. And so I can see why they want to have an actor who is totally able-bodied at the beginning to show that arc. I don't know. It's tough.
None of the people playing Avengers can actually fly.
Yes. Robert Downey Jr. can. Anyway, so we will continue to have this conversation. It keeps coming up, and it's a vital one to have.
The
so
conversation
we will.
is certainly valuable.
Yeah.